So let's share a few minutes here about shared components in an ATO infrastructure. So I'm going to use an example of a database to kind of illustrate what these shared components are within an ATO. And it's important that you understand that all ATOs have shared components within their controls. We're going to list out a few here. For example, let's pull up AC13, for example. So this is just a control. This could be a NIST control. This could be any security control. It doesn't really matter. But it's a control, a security control that allows you to get an authorization to run an IT infrastructure. And so within it, it's going to tell you some of the shared components may be the objective of the ATO, who the staff and contacts are, who the owner is, who's the approving authority, what's the location, things of that nature. I can talk faster than I can type. All of those things are common components. It's just to name a few of them. There are multiple shared components within the paperwork component or part of the ATO, which is a huge part, right? You have to do all the documentation. So what we want to do is be able to develop these shared components in a shared data model so that we can use them throughout any ATO and use them within any control. So for example here, I'm going to draw out an example of a control. Let's say AC. Well, you know what? Let's change it. I was going to do AC13, but let's not do that. Let's just do AC12, for example. And these are real control names, by the way, but kind of bogus in the way I'm sharing it here. So we have shared information, and what's represented on the screen here is two sets of documentation for AC12, because there are lots of documents that go in with a control, vulnerability and plan contingencies and lots of good stuff. Okay, so we want to make sure we have all of that information, and in both of those, AC12 shares owner's name and location. So a database is just an example of how you might do this with shared components. You have a database that takes and says, oh, okay, I've got all these shared components, and I know that I've got these components. So let's kind of draw this out. Let's use red, for example. Let's go back to this. Okay, so I've got these components in this documentation related to AC12. I've got that. And then same documentation, AC12, I've got owner's name and location of system. It's off of both. I want to plant those in fields inside of a database. Then when I fire up AC13, for example, and I have shared components, shared data components within AC13, and all of my controls for that ATO, I want to be able to quickly edit it once and change it everywhere, or add it and have it add to everything. That's a repeatable and functional architecture for ATO.